Is professional bass fishing a dying hobby and sport? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. Is professional bass fishing a dying sport? Now, while I respect and appreciate professional anglers, I'm one person who thinks that this is a expensive hobby rather than a sport. And I mean no disrespect to anyone. And most people that I keep up with are exceptional people. They're exceptional fathers, they're exceptional anglers. But is this a hobby or sport that is dying? Now I'm going to read this. In 2023, recreational fishing reached an all-time record high with 57.7 million Americans fishing. That was an increase of 6% over 2022. Remember, this was the COVID years. 3.7 million were first-time anglers. 8 million were recreational anglers. 14 million participants lapsed, resulting in an 18% churn rate. They just didn't come back. Now, there's lots of factors in why this has happened. Some of it has to do with technology. Some of it has to do with environmental factors. You have water quality and aquatic stuff, and people that just don't catch fish. You have to remember, if you go fishing and you don't catch fish, you probably aren't coming back to go fishing. Why it's really important that if you take a young man or young woman fishing, that you make sure they catch something. Even if it's the smallest speck or bluegill or whatever it is, they need to catch something, because if they don't, they'll find themselves bored and go to their phone or their iPad or whatever it is and get back on social media or technology instead of doing what we want them to do, and that's get out there, be outdoors, and catch fish. And there's a reason why professional fishing is struggling and dying as a sport and hobby. There's competitive factors that result in the tournament structures and payouts, and with sponsorships declining drastically, it's hard to make a good living as a professional angler. Most anglers in a lot of organizations have a full-time job and are able to take time off and go fishing during that week or the weekend. But there's a lot of anglers that just fish professionally, and that's all they do. But they have to make sure that they live up to their sponsorship requirements and that they're out there being on social media and other stuff, going to boat shows, doing demonstrations, doing all those little things. But as they learn and they grow, hopefully they can become a full-time angler. But sponsorships are horrible right now. And is that part of the reason why this hobby and sport is dying? Now, I don't want to see it die. I enjoy covering the good and the bad and the ugly of this industry. And while I attempt to be as unbiased as possible and give you both sides of whatever I'm talking about, this is something that's been brought up many times. Now, we do know that lately high school and collegiate fishing is on a huge upswing. So is kayak fishing. But high school and collegiate fishing, bass fishing programs are expanding at a super high rate. We now see high school anglers going to college getting scholarships for fishing, for being outdoors, for loving the sport and the hobby. But as they go through college and they see the ups and the downs of being a professional angler and the amount of money that it costs to be a professional angler, and not knowing if you're going to have money in your bank after the tournament, because you're really gambling on your own success. And with the amount of people that are using technology and that are great anglers that are able to pattern fish, it is a tough business to be in. Times are at an all-time low for sponsorships right now. And mainly that's because social media and content creators that can also fish do very well. The times of doing well and fishing your way into getting sponsorships is not what we have now. You need to, or the anglers need to, make sure that not only are they great anglers at scoping, at shallow water fishing, at smallmouth fishing, at largemouth fishing, at all of it. They need to be a complete angler. But they also need to make sure that they have a social media background and brand that not only helps themselves, but helps sell the stuff that they're being sponsored by. And our youth is being introduced into this hobby at a new generation that, as older anglers, and I'm saying myself, aren't used to doing. Social media isn't easy. I love when I see the comments about how you are doing. Steve, you're doing this for clicks. You don't realize how little money you get on YouTube unless you're doing humongous numbers. This channel does not do that. And with participation retention and people who don't like fishing finding fishing boring, even people who love fishing find fishing boring watching it on YouTube or television. And with co-anglers being non-existent and technology being just a humongous part of what's going on right now, are we holding back ourselves to become a real designated sport instead of an expensive hobby? And can we make the appropriate changes to better ourselves and this sport? I have found over the years it's easier to knock somebody down than to lift somebody up. And in this hobby and sport, I think it's really important to lift somebody up. It's good to help your neighbor or help somebody else. Instead, we have too many people that are ultra competitive, like myself. I'm guilty of this myself, and go out there and help someone else. If there's a content creator or someone that is out there that doesn't know where the sport or the hobby is going, I have no problem ever at helping that person. If you're doing videos and you're watching this and you want to know what I have done, the rights and the wrongs, please get a hold of me. If you're thinking about being a content creator and want to know what should I do first, get in touch with me, because I want to help you, because there's plenty of room in this industry and this space of YouTube for, instead of kicking everybody while they're down, let's help somebody get up. And let's give the praise to the people that deserve it, because I don't want to see this sport and hobby die. I love bass fishing. I love going fishing. I love talking fishing. I love everything about it. But these days, we're in a dark world. We're really in a dark world. And we need to better ourselves and make sure that we're helping everyone and not knocking down the things we don't like. You might not like technology. I don't like it. I don't like forward-facing sonar. But organizations have decided to use it or not use it. And that's their prerogative. They're doing it to better themselves and to better their anglers. And we need to remember that. And this is not taking a shot at anyone or any organization, but we need to try to make sure that this sport and hobby doesn't die. How do we do it? That's what I want to know. I want you to tell me how we can make sure this sport or hobby doesn't die, because there are a lot of times where it doesn't look good. And there's way too many people in this industry that would rather kick you than help you up. And a lot of those people are the people you guys watch and love. And that shocks me. It really does shock me. And I'm not here to put anyone down. I'm really not. But I want to cover both sides of this, because I think that our youth is our future of fishing. And if without them, the sport won't exist. But at the same time, they're learning how to fish a different way than you and I did in most cases. And that's perfectly all right. Because if you had the opportunity to learn how they learned, you would have done it too. Just because it isn't the way you did it or the way you want it to be done doesn't mean that we have to knock what they're doing. We need to teach them our ways and their ways and make sure they realize that we need them in the long run. We do need them, because some of these guys, some of these young men outwork the older anglers. I know that's going to be tough to say. Some of these guys, older anglers aren't going in pre-fishing anymore. A lot of them don't go pre-fish. These younger anglers that don't know the place, they go out and spend 15, 20 days, a month fishing, which is crazy. And in that month, they learn the pattern of the fish. And you have to respect what they're doing. You have to respect their drive. You also have to respect the old guys' drives. And that's not a slight against them. They're living off what they've learned in the past. And the fish have changed. So is anglers. But is professional fishing a dying sport? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks to all new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Thanks. It's just humbling. It really is humbling. It's hard to imagine and hard to explain a lot of times, but I'm so appreciative of everyone who subscribes and is a member of this channel. You guys are unbelievable. But if you're not a subscriber, you should be, because it's quick, easy, and all you gotta do is click the button over here, wherever the hell it is. And you'll do me a favor, and I really do appreciate it. Remember, take your kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.